Hello, everyone. Corey here. This is the full moon in Sagittarius energy update. So I just wanted to come in and make this a very quick one. I don't want to make it anything that's too long to extend it because you also have this week's, plus you have the whole month of May that is still in effect. So go back and listen to the full month. Go back and listen to this week's energy update. And also you get this. So this is like an add-on. This is like an extension. And this full moon it is about what is really truly coming into full bloom. What we've been growing, what we've been hearing, what we've been receiving, and seeing it fully blooming into our lives, being able to really smell the roses, being able to take in the fragrance, like really breathe into something that feels like we're hitting a sweet spot. And sometimes that sweet spot may mean, oh God, you know, there's, it means now I have to walk my path. I have to walk my way. So there's a bit of a leveling up here. I call Sagittarius the baby of the fire signs, like the youngest. I would say Sagittarius is like the youngest of the fire signs in, even though Aries is the first, even though Aries is the younger of the energies. But the way I see them is Aries is the big sister, Leo's the middle child, and Sag is the youngest. So the youngest kind of gets away with more because the parents are exhausted and tired. And Sag is the one who kind of gets to do whatever they want, explore whatever they want. They have less restrictions. So this full moon actually comes with less restrictive energy. It comes with less intensity, and it comes with this kind of free spirited. So there's some free spirited energy around the full moon. Now, outside of there, there's a lot of retrograde energy. There's a lot of conflicting energy outside of there, but within the full moon itself is that it's kind of taken itself, it's being a little bit kinder to us. Coming up to the full moon wasn't so kind. The last few days really truly was kind of where it's like breaking open the nut, right? It just feels like, or that final moment when a flower is about to bloom and that last little petal has to come out. Wow. That's what it felt like coming up to this. So rising up into this, coming up into this moment, coming up into this experience doesn't feel like it was as a smooth sailing or smooth ride, but there is a sense of ease and going with the flow that's flowing through this full moon. And you may not be feeling it that way, but that's the energy that I'm receiving. That's what I'm getting of it. Now, like I said, outside of there, there's a whole lot of other things, but I'm not talking about anything outside of there. I'm talking about the full moon. So it's like if we allow ourselves to stay focused on one thing and not let ourselves get distracted. Don't let yourself get distracted by what's happening outside. If you are in a moment of inspiration and you feel yourself being inspired, don't let yourself get distracted. Don't let yourself get sidetracked. Don't let yourself get caught up. So if you're working on a project, or if you're working on something, or if you're in heavily invested into even reading a book, don't put the book down and go to social media and just start randomly just scrolling and getting lost. Because this is where, in this energy, it is very easy to get sidetracked and get caught. And so it's where we can get caught up, is where we can get caught. It's where we can get entangled into things because we're not really paying such attention. So there is things that are saying we're not paying such attention, we're not so aware. And because we're not paying attention and because we're not so aware, then this is where there can be slip ups or things can slip in. It's like somebody else slipping in and taking over your identity, taking over your life type of thing. Thinking that if they want what's yours, and if they take what's yours, if they copy your work, or if they take who you are, or if they take your partner, that they're going to be able to have what you have or your life. But that's where the trickster comes in, but it's also where the divine intervention comes in and says, what we try to replicate in our own lives by kind of taking it directly from another is it will lead you down the path of a karmatic debt. You'll owe something back for that. And so it's not a good time to really, and I don't know who needs to hear this, it's not a good time to let yourself kind of, if you've got a temptation of somebody kind of catching your eye or sending you texts or messages, but they're already in a relationship, back away. Don't get tangled up in it, because it will lead you down a trail of not so good, of it's just going to make it really challenging. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but that's really coming up right now. But there is this sense of, who you are is enough. And there is a authenticity that is waiting to be in that bloom, waiting to be like, for you to recognize that's what's trying to bloom, that's what's trying to come up, that's what's trying to come out. And it's also a time when maybe you may be saying goodbye to a lot of things, because the youngest child is not always so fazed by having to please or to make other people happy. They're often more content with doing their own thing. And so there is a freedom here. And because it comes with freedom and liberty, is that there is a free reign energy that's flowing with this. So there is a free reign energy that's arriving with it. And it's like the being given the reins, being given control, being given the right to, being given the freedom to kind of do what we want, how we want to do it, how we want to show up. But we must apply the laws, like the seven spiritual laws of attraction. We must apply the laws of, in that is like the laws of karma, the debt. It's the sense of, of the magnetic energy that ties to us. And so there's just a lot of things that it's just saying, really, truly pay attention, and don't even let yourself get kind of caught up. And there is a sense of being taken advantage of. And so it's like, don't take advantage of others. Don't let yourself be taken advantage of. And it's the kindness thing. And I've been dealing with this all week. And there is nothing that irritates the shit out of me anymore than passive aggressive approaches to things. When people they forget that I can see, hear, feel, sense everything. And so they'll come in with like a passive aggressive approach to something. They give that backhanded compliment. It's like you're so this, you're so that, but here's the negative, or here's the hook, or here's the attack, right? It's like coming in for the juggler. It's like the sheep in wolf. It's like the wolf in sheep clothing. That's it. I was trying to see it. It is the wolf in sheep clothing. And that energy is linked in around the moon. And it's bringing in a sense of kind of hiding in the shadows. So when the light is shining, when your light is shining bright, there is always something lurking in the shadows. Be aware of what is lurking in the shadows. And it doesn't mean it's anyone else. It could mean our own internal enemy. It could mean our own self-doubt, our own sense of self-sabotage, our own sense of old patterns, old habits that may creep back in, and really noticing and being aware of that coming back. It could be a rebel energy, just says, I'm going to do whatever I want now. I'm free. And because I'm free, F that. I don't have to do anything. And you kind of start to forget everything that you have learned over the past few years, including you start to forget the lessons you learned. So if you're starting to forget the lessons you learned, it is time to start to remember where you have been, how difficult it has been, how hard it's been, and what happens when you self-sabotage, what happens when you step into that stay in victim mentality, or even just staying in survivor mode. It's like when someone say, well, oh, you're a survivor. Well, when do we leave the survivor story and move into the thrive story? No, I'm no longer a survivor. I'm a thriver, because now I'm thriving. And so there's a thriving person, there's a thriving entity of energy waiting for you to step into. And so it's all here, and it's all possible for us in this full moon energy. There is a lot of change. There is a lot of shift happening on the other side of this. There's a lot of possibility, but if we don't do nothing, it just don't magically appear in our lives. We got to start to become. It's a key that you become the person that you need to be, to be able to really truly step up into your own kind of growth, change, a sense of evolving energy within yourself, to mature, to grow. And that is a whole key of, it's one thing to know your sign, it's a one thing to know your natal chart, but what are you doing about it? But what are you doing about it? What are you doing to kind of evolve, to take those turns around the sun? Is your sun sign is tied to your ego, and your ego is here to be matured. It's not here to keep going back to the old brain. It's here to kind of, it's here to kind of trick it into a different narrative, because it's always here to take you back to comfort. It's back to take you back. Old brain's here to take you back to the, to where it tells you, where it feels like it is safe. But sometimes the lion's den is not the safe place to be. But if you've been in the lion's den your whole life, if you've been like the three little piggies and had the wolf always around, and you're going to get, you get used to that, you get accustomed to that, and you just get used to that way of living. And so you're always in survival mode, you're always in the primal instinct of fight or flight, freeze, fawn, you're always waiting. And so there's this anticipation. And so when do we move beyond the waiting, and we start to move into the receiving, and we start to move into that sense of self-regulation and being able to be in a calmer state and exist in a place of peace, and to also know that that environment, the environment that makes us sick, can't be that good for me. The environment that has the everything that I didn't want, how could that be my place to be? It's time to really truly trick and to move forward the ego, move it into a new safe place, and that's into the unknown. It's okay for me to be over here, it's safe to be over here. Why is it safe? Because I'm with it, I'm not leaving me. And as we move through that energy, and just, you know, I'm safe with my divine self. So why do I go consult with the shadow instead of with the divinity? And so it's so easy to go down and have the conversation with like-mindedness that's going to tell you everything you want to hear, that's going to give you every reason why that you should go back to the way things used to be, when you could go to the divine, and it's going to call you up and call you out on your shit. And that's a huge part of what is happening with this full moon. And it does continue. It's going to be going on for a little bit, but yeah, have fun with it, let it be, but really truly pay attention. Do look at the broader perspective of everything during this full moon energy. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful full moon. And I do have the Aging Goddess free event that's happening on tonight on the full moon on the 23rd. So if you're listening to this today, then you can register. It is for women 40 and over that are, you know, going through those transitions in their lives. And it is a free webinar that's going to be happening, but you do have to register. Go to my Facebook page, go have a look at the event page, and there's a link in there for you to register to join me. So, and then there's going to be a whole 4-week course that's coming up in our academy, in More Than Existing Academy, that's going to be starting May the 5th, which is one of my soul revival master classes around the Aging Goddess. I would love to see my beautifully, divinely aging goddesses join me in there. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful full moon. Bye-bye.